This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by Bees Embroidery and Garment Printing, specializing in custom and personalized decoration of gifts, garments, and more. Call 775-727-9444. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Welcome to KPVM-TV and Ace Country Radio's News 25. It's July 15th. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Missy Kohler.
Well, the Department of Health and Human Services says that the country's hospital data concerning the coronavirus pandemic will now be sent to a private technology firm on behalf of the Trump administration instead of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The government says that this will help speed up the process because the hospitals are a week behind on their reports. The decision has many worried about the move, citing privacy issues and additional sidelining of the information. The CDC says if hospitals are already directly reporting to state health departments, they can get a written release from that state to keep doing that. The information includes bed occupancy, staffing levels, the severity level of coronavirus patients, ventilators on hand, and supplies of masks, gowns, and other personal protective equipment. The CDC will continue to collect other data like the information about cases and deaths from state health departments. The company was given a $10.2 million contract last month, the largest amount ever awarded to the firm Teletracking Technologies that is collecting data already and is being tracked such as hospital beds. In the past, the company has not been paid more than $300,000 to do such work as programming computer systems at the VA hospitals. Well, how do you hit a moving target? That is basically what the Nye County School Board is trying to do in determining the safest way to send students back to school. Information and recommendations change by the minute when it comes to the best way to protect everyone from COVID-19. As Missy Kohler reports, flexibility and preparedness were key considerations when determining how school will begin here in Nye County.
After considering information from both parents and teachers offered at focus groups on July 10th and much research on how other districts across the country are going to implement back-to-school procedures, the Nye County School Board made a decision.
I'll make a motion to approve the calendar revision as presented in this slide on page 43, or on slide 43, the motion for face coverings on 44, the motion for 100% in-person instructional model on page 40, or slide 45, the motion for hybrid instructional model on 46, and the requested motion for distance learning instructional model on page 47.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
The board approved a plan that received the most support from both parents and teachers. This plan would revise the school calendar for 2020-2021 for a teacher start date of August 12th and a student start date of August 24th. It would require the wearing of face masks on buses and in school for students 10 years and older and for younger students outside of the classroom. For classroom instruction, a 100% in-person model for all pre-K through 5th grade students and for remote rural middle school and high school students based on population. Preference will be given to students pre-K through 3rd grade with unique learning needs to provide 100% in-person. Also approved was a hybrid model for students at Rosemary Clark Middle School and Pahrump Valley High School, in which students attend school in a rotation schedule format with half instruction in person and half will be distance learning. Students with unique learning needs will receive 100% in-person on-site instruction for 4 days instead of 2 days whenever possible. The hybrid model will work to keep families on the same schedule. And for families who prefer a distance learning model for a student that is excluded due to health considerations, that model was also approved. This model will also go into effect if a school or the district is required to temporarily shut down due to an outbreak or mandate changes from the state government. Families may also request the distance learning model due to student or family considerations. Breakfast and lunch will still be provided for students. If you would like to view the details and options presented to the board, that information can be found on the Nye County School District website under Focus Groups.
Nevada Highway Patrol is investigating a two-car crash that happened around noon today in Pahrump.
The crash between a white SUV and white minivan happened at the intersection of Highway 372 and Red Butte Street. No injuries are reported, but Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue medics did assess several occupants of the vehicles. No one was transported to the hospital. Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies and auxiliary units helped direct traffic around the crash scene. It appears the accident happened due to a failure to yield.
The Nye County Sheriff's Office is investigating a similar two-car crash that happened Tuesday afternoon.
Two sedans collided at the intersection of East Wilson Road and West Street. Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue and Nye County Sheriff's Office deputies responded to the scene. There was minor visible damage to the vehicles, and the drivers were able to pull off the roadway. All occupants declined to be transported to the hospital. This crash, too, appears to be the result of a failure to yield the right-of-way.
When we come back, it is tax day, and we'll have a little bit of information on that in the business report. Stay with us.
You're watching News 25, the most recognized and farthest-reaching local news in Nye County. News 25, local news you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. Well, Nye County is reporting 193 positive test results returned. That is up 4 from yesterday. That's 3 here in Pahrump and 1 in Amargosa. And you can see that graph as well on our local Pahrump Facebook page. Of over 3,000 that were reported tests done. And of course, if you would like to get tested, you can give Serenity Mental Health a phone call. That's 702-234-5398. Right now they are testing, drive-up regular testing happening Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. On Monday, it's at night from 7 to 9 p.m. Wednesday and Friday from 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. And you don't need to have symptoms, and just bring your medical insurance card with you and your identification. If you don't have any medical insurance, they make arrangements for that, and the testing is free. Of course, they are also doing antibody tests, and if you would like to schedule those, 702-234-5398. If you are in Tonopah, 775-302-5800. and 775-482-9898, or you can even email them at pahrump@serenitymentalhealth.org. Well, after a 3-month delay, it's finally tax day. President Trump will announce policy changes to speed up infrastructure projects, and a proposal by Joe Biden to fund green infrastructure projects sends solar stocks higher. Here's Angela Miles.
Topping our news, it is tax day. The government pushed back the date from the traditional April 15th as Americans were adjusting to sheltering in place and working from home due to the fast-spreading pandemic. The Internal Revenue Service is no longer offering the option to use its non-filers tool on the IRS website. Instead, Americans will have to file by paper. In politics and money, President Trump will be in Atlanta today. The president is making policy changes to quicken the pace of infrastructure projects. He will be talking about that today. Presidential contender and former Vice President Joe Biden is proposing allocating $2 trillion into green infrastructure over the next 4 years. That news caused a rally in solar stocks. The Trump campaign says Biden's plan would be harmful to people working in the oil industry.
To find out where you can see us every day, go to businessfirstan.com.
Pahrump has several organizations that focus on animal welfare. One of those is Never Forgotten Animal Society. The organization helps rescue and adopt out all types of animals, including dogs and cats. Cheryl Hunter is the vice president of Never Forgotten Animal Society. She spoke with News 25 about the group and its mission.
We are a nonprofit organization located in Nye County, and we service the animals of Pahrump and Amargosa and Beatty. We take in animals from that have been running at large. We take in people who have to surrender for various reasons. We make sure that they are new home ready, which means they are microchipped, vaccinated, and spayed or neutered before they go to their new homes. We do all types of animals. In fact, we have Garrett right now, who is a bunny that's up for adoption. We also do kittens, puppies, dogs, cats. Pretty much, I think we've We've had some odd things coming through the door. We currently have 11 kittens in our kitten room. You're going to have to check that out before you go. We have 17 cats and 3 dogs available, and Garrett, our bunny.
If you'd like to get a closer look at all the animals up for adoption from Never Forgotten Animal Society, just go online.
You can go to our website at nfasi.org or neverforgottenanimalsociety.com, or you can go on Facebook. We have a very active page. We're also on Pet Finder and adoptapet.com.
Never Forgotten Animal Society is always seeking donations to support their mission, and if you'd like to help, they make that easy too.
You can come into the office and donate here at 520 East Street. We are at the corner of Wilson and East. You can go to our website at neverforgottenanimalsociety.com, or you can call the office. You can donate by check, by cash, by credit card. You can donate land. We're looking for a location for a new facility. We've taken cars, RVs, you name it.
And Cheryl says they recently received a $5,000 grant, which they've already put to good use.
David and Cheryl Duffield Grant, who works with Maddie's Fund, they gave us $5,000 to aid the community through the coronavirus epidemic. And with that, we used that to take care of some animals for patients who were hospitalized due to COVID. And we were able to feed, shelter, and provide transportation for those animals. We also set up a pet food pantry, where people who were out of work or unable to provide food were able to come in and pick up food and litter for their animals so that they didn't have to give their animals up while they were out of work. We also provided a couple of low-interest loans to help with some vet care for those who were unemployed during the epidemic.
You can call Never Forgotten Animal Society at 775-537-8674. Their office is at 520 East Street, and they are open 10 to 2 Monday through Saturday, and they're available other times by appointment. When we come back, we'll have this week's court report, so stick around.
This segment of the news is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyers, Nye County's injury attorneys. Don't get bullied by insurance companies. Call Jason Ernest and bully them back at 775-727-9500.
I'm Missy Kohler with this week's court report. In the murder case of the state of Nevada versus Cole Engelson, pretrial evidence was presented at a Molyneux or prior bad acts hearing by Chief Deputy District Attorney Kirk Vito. Vito submitted photos from Engelson's phone of the victim, 3-year-old Yasina Camp, believed to be prior incidents showing the little girl with several bruises and contusions to her legs. Engelson is accused of allegedly murdering Camp, the child of his girlfriend, on July 15, 2017. Camp was pronounced dead at Desert View Hospital, and the cause of death is listed as blunt force trauma. Public defender for Engelson, Daniel Martinez, has objected to the photographic evidence submitted by Vito, saying that the photos are a character assault on Engelson and could taint a jury's opinion of the defendant. Engelson admitted to police that, quote, he was a harsh disciplinarian. The more she resisted, the more he disciplined her, end quote. Engelson said that he had been drinking all day on the day of the alleged murder and does not remember what happened to the little girl. Jury selection has been set for August 11th in BOCC chambers. Sentencing date has been set in the state of Nevada versus Robert Ferris. Ferris is facing more than a dozen charges from an incident that occurred on January 13th of this year. Ferris was pulled over for driving the wrong way on the highway. A record check showed that he had a violent history and the vehicle he was driving was stolen. While attempting to flee, Ferris dragged a sheriff's deputy who sustained minor injuries during the incident. Ferris was eventually arrested after crashing the vehicle into a rock barrier at Gold Town Casino. A search of the stolen vehicle turned up 19 grams of hallucinogenic mushrooms. Ferris was charged with failure to drive on the right side of the road, possession of stolen vehicle, resisting a public officer with a deadly weapon, battery with a deadly weapon, assault on a protected person with a deadly weapon, disobeying a peace officer, endangering other people, speeding, reckless driving, driving on a sidewalk, trafficking a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance, conspiracy to violate the Uniform Controlled Substance Act, failing to stop at the scene of an accident, no proof of insurance, and destruction of the property of another. This sentencing hearing will take place with Judge Robert Lane on August 17th at 9 a.m. For News 25, I'm Missy Kohler.
Well, for many kids, staying home during the COVID-19 pandemic has meant more time on devices. But can more time online put kids at a higher risk for cyberbullying? Erica Foreman has more on what every parent needs to know.
COVID-19 has left many kids bored, longing for social interaction, and some are turning to screens. But when social media use goes up, so does the risk for cyberbullying. And research shows the effects of online bullying can linger.
That actually has a long-term impact on the mental health. So in this study, they look at the incidence of depression, anxiety, and PTSD. And they found that a lot of the kids who were cyberbullied also have increased risk for post-traumatic stress disorder.
Dr. Falcone says kids may have online friends they don't actually know, which opens the door for more cyberbullying.
When you're saying something and it's not to the face of the person, people feel empowered about saying bad things, and then the other friends or the other people don't even think the impact of that comment, and they just like it, and then that impacts more the kid.
Parents want to give teenagers privacy and responsibility, but it's still a good idea to check in on their online activity from time to time.
Once a week, look at all the websites that your kids are going to, block some of the websites that are not appropriate for them, make sure like their friends that they have online are real friends that they know, and randomly look at some of the chat interactions that they have.
At Cleveland Clinic, I'm Erica Foreman.
It's Wednesday and time to meet another great pet available for adoption from Desert Haven Animal Society. Today, Darby O'Donnell introduces us to Veda.
Today's Save a Pet is proudly sponsored by Jason Ernest with Mountain West Lawyers. Call 775-727-9500.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Veda. Veda is a 5-year-old lab mix. She's all black with a little bit of white on her chest. So Veda has actually quite a sad story. Earlier today, she was an owner surrender. The family has a 2-year-old who unfortunately has some severe allergies to her, so they ended up having to go and get rid of her. They tried to do everything that they could to keep her, but unfortunately it just didn't work out. So Veda is extremely well trained. She's extremely food motivated. She knows how to sit and stay and lay down, and she can shake her paw. The owner said that she gets along really well with other animals and with children. Veda, here you go. If you want to come and see Veda or any of her friends here at Desert Haven Animal Society, give them a call to make an appointment to see the animals, 775-751-7020, or you can always look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society. Hey, let's see when she'll come back. Veda, come here. Sit. Good girl. Hey, good girl.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Let's run outside and take a look at what the weather's doing out front here. It was another nice day here in Pahrump, and probably going to be just as nice tomorrow. When we return, Deanna's going to have the weather forecast for us.
News 25 Weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
All right, today in Las Vegas, your high was 109. Tonight, 81 degrees is your low. Death Valley, 117, 85. Amargosa, 106, 71. Beatty getting down there at 102. Your low tonight is 68. Goldfield, 96, 60. Tonopah, even cooler up there at 94, 59. Carson City, 95, 57. Fallon, 99, 58. And Fernley, high of 98, low 60 tonight. Sunny skies here in Pahrump with your high 104. Winds out of the south-southwest at 12 miles per hour with humidity at 8%. Sunrise, 5:38 this morning. Tonight, clear skies with your low of 76. Winds out of the east-southwest at 11 miles per hour with humidity at 12%. Sunset, 8:01. Your 7-day forecast still shows that we got some wind coming in, mostly from the south-southwest, about 12 to 15 miles per hour, getting up there tomorrow on Thursday with your high of 105, as well all the way through Saturday, 106 on Sunday, and coming back down throughout the week to 102 by next Wednesday. Your overnight highs are in the high 70s. We're reaching 78 through Saturday and Sunday, coming down 77, and then Wednesday 76 with clear skies. Well, that's going to wrap up this edition of News 25. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Missy Kohler.
Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.